Hey guys, welcome back. Fast Monty's Garage. You guessed it, TKO versus TKX day. Man, oh man, I'm excited because I know what you're thinking. What's wrong with your TKO 600? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with it. But when Silver Sport sent me a newsletter late last year that the TKX was coming out and it's slimmer, I had to have one. So I got on the phone. Silver Sport, yeah, can I be number one on the list? No? Oh, I'll take 51. Anyway, I got one. And I'm looking forward to it because, frankly, comparing the two right now, the TKO looks like Mike on COVID-19. That means like freshman 15, if you know what I mean. This is pre-COVID Mike. So much slimmer, especially around the waist. But you can look at it and the top portions are much wider on the TKO than the TKX, and that's where most of the modifications I did in the tunnel are in this area. Oh, and that reminds me, if you guys are looking to get a TKX and install it yourself, go check out my playlist. I did a full playlist on installing the TKO. The installation procedure is identical. Hey, name that movie quote. Identical to the TKX with one minor difference, and I'll point that out later. Now, the object today is to show you the differences of how it fits in an A body. This is going to be a good comparison for any car because TKOs are the same size for any car versus a TKX. And don't worry, I already filmed it when this was in the car. It's the magic of editing. And I'll also show you what it looks like with no transmission so you can see my patch panel work or the areas I had to cut out. And then we're going to put the TKX in and show you the difference. I'm going to shim it identically as I had the TKO in the car with on the transmission brace. And after I show you that and how it fits, we're going on a test drive because there's two other things that are unique about the TKX, actually three. Gear ratio, there's two different things. Third gear is a different ratio of the TKX as well as the final gear. This is a 0.64, this is a 0.68. 0.64 is a little drastic for me on the freeway to go to fifth gear. I'm looking forward to the 0.68. The other major change is the shifting mechanism, I believe, is stolen from a T56 Magnum? I think. I could be wrong, but there's something to do like that. So I'm very curious to see how this feels when shifting. I've never shifted a T56 before. I'm sure it's impressive if Tremec decided to put it in here. So I can't wait for that. So let me show you a close-up thing of the difference for installation, and then we're going to get under the car and show you the TKO, how it fits before I took it out, what it looks like without a transmission in there, and then we're going to put this in and show you the difference. Be right back. All right, different perspective for you guys. So I mentioned one difference during your installation procedure. It actually has to do with the neutral switch. So on the TKO, it's back here on the tail. On the TKX, it's on the right side, right here. Now the neutral switch is totally optional. Actually, I do have it wired in the wire harness, but the wires don't connect to anything inside the cabin. It's just in case I want to do it later date. That's one thing. I just noticed another major thing, actually. Let me go zoom in on this real quick. All right, on a TKO, in the upper right dog ear, you cannot put a normal bolt in there because you cannot put a socket on it. The trick behind that bolt is you have to use a socket head cap screw, and even then you still have to get a special tool because you can't get straight in there. It has to be at an angle. Man, that was a painful actually when I put this in. But let's go look at the TKX. On the TKX, look how much room we have. It's amazingly different. Look at all that room they shaved. So let's do another point of view here. So we have, you can see the width of the top plate here is totally different. It's a good 1 or 1.5 inches shorter. The same with the rear plate, much narrower points for the fastener locations. And even the valve is different location. So the valve here versus up on the TKX, it's a good 2 inches up forward. And that's good because most transmission tunnels come down like right here. So that was a risk for most people. They had to trim their tunnel just to fit that valve. So the less risk there. The other things I wanted to show you were the areas that were concerning to me when I modified my tunnel was this corner, and this corner. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like in the car. And then I'll show you what it looks like with no transmission, so you can see where I had to make room. And then we'll put this bad boy in and see the difference. Let's see, a little reference here. This is my slim screwdriver. I can almost get it in there. There's about a ½ inch clearance up in here. And this one is almost to that part of the blade. So keep that in mind when we put the TKX in. So you can see way in here, I also had to cut this area out right here, very minor, but for this corner on the driver's side. This is really close up in here, but it clears. We'll see how it looks with the TKX. So I realize it might be tough to see, but there's a patch panel here where I had to cut this out, push this up. There's a patch panel here for that other right side corner, and then this patch panel where that edge came to about right there. So if we get more room lower and inboard, that means I can get the transmission higher, which will help me with my pinion angle and help me with my header height. Whole nother story. You guys have to catch up on my other playlist to see that. So next step here is let's get that TKX in. Before we throw this in the car, some of you are probably wondering, what is with this weird bearing retainer on the front? Well, good question. Silversport makes their own hydraulic throwout bearing kit that I bought with the transmission. And when you do that, the transmission comes with this bearing cap already installed because you need this anti-rotate finger. If you're modifying a TKO or TKX, you have to take that stock bearing retainer off and put this one on before you use their setup. But that's what makes it super easy to work with Silversport. They make it as easy as possible. So call them, go through your specs, because the other thing to note, this is standard Muncie bolt hole pattern. I think they also can provide Ford. So be sure to go over the details with them. I love their customer service. And if you need to know how to put the hydraulic throwout bearing kit together, go check out my playlist. Yes, I already did it. So let's get under the car. I'm going to show you what the throwout bearing looks like in the bell housing, and then we'll put this in. Here's the throwout bearing I was referring to. That anti-rotate pin goes right through that top hole. So it's the only challenge that is an additional for the hydraulic clutch. So let's get to this. And just like that, we're in. Just got to put my bolts on. All right, bolts are in. Let's get that cross brace. Right on the passenger side, using our same measurement tool, you can see this is how far we got last time. Was to that edge on my measuring stick. But we can actually go further up, which means this is lower than the TKO, and we also have more room side to side here. And then this back edge, same story. Remember, on the TKO, I can barely get the screwdriver in between these two edges, and we have a lot more room. So that's pretty impressive. Let's go look at the other side. So that back corner is the one I had to cut, and it is lower. The issue might be when you raise your transmission up to get your cross member under, it might hit there, so you might have to dimple that area, and that's about it. So I concur. It is smaller, a lot less tunnel work, and I know you guys can't see, but I can see the bell housing from here. So I can see it all the way past, and clearance looks really good. So I'm going to button this things up, and raise your hand if you want me to do a test drive. Okay, put your hands down. I know you're excited to go on a test drive. We're going to do that. I'm excited too, but before we go, I have to correct myself. I said that third gear is different between the TKO and the TKX. I am wrong. I did some fact checking. I was looking at the wide ratio versus close ratio, and I got numbers confused. So both transmissions for me are close ratio. That means 1 through 4 are the same gear. The difference for me, the TKO 600 I had is a 0.64 final ratio, and the TKX is 0.68. So that's what we're going to test today. Obviously, I want to know how it feels when we shift, but we're also going to monitor the RPM and miles per hour shift points because I set up a GoPro. Hopefully it works. I've never done this before, and we'll see if we can see where my shift points are, and that way you guys can get a good feel of how it is in your car in relation to a 355 rear end, because that's what I have. On other news though, I got something in the mail. You're gonna love it. At the end of this video, I'm going to show it off to you because it's related to this project and I've been dying to get one. Those of you that know what I'm talking about, but we're going to cover that at the end of the video. It'll be super quick, but it'll be a future project. Now that being said, I'm going to take a couple minutes to get this thing warmed up, get out on the street, and let's see how this thing shifts. Be right back. All right, so reverse works, actually goes into reverse a lot easier than the TKO did. I don't know why. And just sitting here playing with the gear shift feels super smooth. So here we go. Okay, rolling start. Second gear, that's the third gear. Fourth gear. Fifth gear. 55 miles an hour at 1900. Shift super smooth. See downshifting. Oh yeah, clean. I just need a red light. Oh, there we go. Oh, lost the RPM camera. Doesn't matter, I think we've seen enough on the shifting. Hey, made it home. Shifting was awesome. It actually feels like a shorter shift than normal. I can't explain it. A little bit more notchy, which I like. And the downshifting was amazing. It was responding a little bit different than TK. I don't know why, but it felt a lot smoother downshifting and coasting. And I haven't forgotten. I got a surprise for you. Be right back. Surprise! Yep, dual disc clutch from Ram just showed up. It's their 10.5. I can't wait to put it in. I can't wait to test drive it. My single disc is starting to chatter. This is perfect. I can't wait. I purposely did not put it in this video because I only wanted to test one thing and one thing only, and that's the transmission swap. It went smoothly because the TKO is the same installation process. And again, if you want to do this at home, go check out my playlist right there. I had never done it before. That's right, it's my first time. And I did that playlist all for not knowing what to do. And that's how you learn from my mistakes. So if you guys have any questions about the TKX or where to get it, give Silver Sport a call. Their customer service support is amazing. And their information is below in the description section. Until next time, you guys subscribe because you're going to see this project. You're going to see many other projects to help you with your build. It doesn't matter if it's a Pontiac or not. It will help. And until next time, build them fast and drive them faster. See ya.